What's up, everybody? Welcome to more rSpace. My mother-in-law assaulted me in front of my children. Her son chooses me over her, and the children are mine. Like others have said, I can't even begin to write everything this woman has done to me. I have been married to her son since 2011. The first sign I knew something was wrong with their relationship was when he had a seizure because of a headache cocktail she had given him, and was upset with me because I handed the phone to the paramedics to tell them what she gave him. She was insistent it could not have been from her decision to give him a handful of pills. How dare I involve the paramedics? How dare I have a backbone? The next few years were a rough roller coaster of emotions. I came to the conclusion that he is her emotional support, and she's lost without him. Their relationship disgusts me. She's constantly faking sick for his attention, cries fake tears so he will feel bad and do whatever she asks, and that's coming from her daughter. She gets jealous if we get new anything and says it's a waste of money. I won't even get into her love for Jesus and the Christian life. Mix in a little crack cocaine addiction, among other drugs, and you've got my mother-in-law. So, I ended up divorced in 2016. I couldn't take the drama anymore. He would talk to her on lunch before bed. When we had kids and moved, she moved and followed us. I moved back, divorced him, and thought the nightmare was over. This last May, I decided I missed him and asked him if we could try it again. I do love this man, and I guess since it had been a few years, I figured he was off his mother's tit. It started off well enough. We ended up moving again, and we're at her boyfriend's house visiting. I was making my kids plates, and my kid was being naughty, so I talked to him and told him to stop, and went back to finishing up plates. His dad comes in, and mother-in-law says he needs to do something about our son's behavior. I step in and say, "Hey, I got it covered. We just talked, he's fine." She gets down and then begins to talk to my son about his behaviors. I again stand firm and tell mother-in-law I am his mother and I will discipline him and to leave my son alone. She gets up and charges at me and smacks me in the face. I legit laughed at the witch, dropped what I was doing, and started packing up the kids to leave. She's screaming and yelling, telling my significant other it's me or her. She keeps attempting to attack me as her boyfriend and my significant other are holding her back as I'm trying to get the kids out. Kids are hysterical. Don't understand what's going on. She continues to scream I'm ruining the kids. I'm a terrible mother. He wouldn't be with me if it weren't for the kids, blah blah. He chooses me and we haven't seen her since. She now has her boyfriend message him to invite us to things and tries to get just the significant other and her grandkids, not my son from a previous marriage, to come out. She has not apologized for her behavior once. This just brings up the question, when the F is enough? When can we finally say, look, even if she's blood, she's toxic and it's never going to change, and can we please just forget she exists? I know he wants the kids to at least know her, but I don't think it's healthy. She just wants another generation she can brainwash into being this loving person so they will do whatever she wants. I refuse to let my kids become victims to this behavior. She just got drug charges in another state, lost her license, has her vehicle impounded, had to get bailed out of jail. Praises Jesus all while hitting the crack pipe. So when can I finally tell the significant other it's over? Can it be over? Update. They have been messaging behind my back and messages are then deleted. He gets caught because I checked and now he says he will block her if he needs to. Don't know what to do. Ready to just pack it in and move back home and be with my own family. Update. So the significant other decided to block her off Facebook. She kept trying to weasel her way back into the conversation with him and he saw how bad it was upsetting me and offered himself to block her. It was a big moment for us. She literally has no way to contact us now. If there are emergencies, she is able to give messages to her daughter, but that is about it. Or so I thought. She has been recruiting her sisters to send significant other guilt messages on Facebook. The last one was actually pretty pathetic. The aunt saying, "I haven't seen any pictures of your mom and the grandbabies online recently. Christmas is coming and the joys of being with your grandchildren are the best present of all. I know as I have a grandchild. I hope to see pictures of your mom and the kids soon." He handled it and blocked the aunt too. The same day, another aunt posted on a meme he had up on Facebook describing the only thing he wants for Christmas is his family happy, healthy, and safe. The aunt commented, "Your mother says the same thing for you. She misses you." I've never met either one of these women, and we've been together on and off for 8 years. Their opinion has little to no impact on anything. They've never even met my children or even tried to reach out even when we were separated. This is just very frustrating with the holidays coming up. I can guarantee she is giving them a totally different story than what actually happened, and I just want to say something so bad to them. I am keeping out of it to not create any more drama. I just feel like it might be time to tell her she isn't seeing any of us, period, and to leave us alone and to have her family to leave us alone. We really haven't said anything to her as to why we aren't in contact. I mean, what she did to me is explanation enough, you would think, right? Maybe just wondering how other people are handling the holidays and any advice on how to go about contacting her to quit. She needs to lose whatever hope she has that she's going to ever have a relationship with our family again, because that is completely out of the question. Update 1. Trigger warning: suicide. Mother-in-law that assaulted me in hospital for suicide threat. Her last attempt apparently to get her son back before Christmas. Her cousin messaged and said his mom and the other aunt got a message that mother-in-law stating she was going to kill herself. The cousin said he rushed to her house and the cops were already there and were taking her to a hospital. This is insane. I don't know what to do. He already has stated he knows this is our fault because it's so close to the holidays and she can't see him or the grandkids. He says he's going to see her and be there for her. I'm ready to call it quits. Update. The aunts have officially reached out, blaming everything on us because she can't see the kids. And we only have one life to live, and hers is very dark now without them. Aunts say she couldn't have possibly done anything so bad as to not see her grandkids and her son. Nothing on earth could make it that bad, they said. Total guilt trip. I want to leave. I can't handle this. Update. Significant other had a short work day and spent some time with his sister. He assures me he had thought about this, but his sister's reassurance helped him as well. He assures me he will not contact her. He knows this is not his fault. He will not be responding to the aunts. He knows she needs help and he cannot be her Prozac, as some have mentioned. I am very proud in his decisions because, rest assured, I was ready to pack up and leave. He said he will message her when she is out of the hospital and politely tell her that when we are ready as a family to invite her back in, we will. Thank you all so much for your advice. We will be getting counseling as well, as soon as we can manage to get in to do the intake. You guys have been so helpful in all of this. Update 2. Here's an update since the suicide and drug use. So life's been good. Haven't had a reason to update until a few weeks ago, when the mother-in-law OD'd. Significant other gets a call from his sister. Calls are few and far between these days. It's becoming clearer and clearer why. She states he needs to step up more. She is sick and taking care of everything for their mom. Backstory of his mother's health: she's had a wide variety of ailments physically, most of which I do not understand because she says one thing and he says it was another. All very flaky, but from what I understand, she was originally diagnosed with MS, and then it turned into Parkinson's? I don't have a medical degree. I do know suddenly years ago she woke up and had no feelings in her legs. She does now. Maybe it was relapsing MS? Which, yes, that stinks, but taking drugs doesn't help anything. This has been an ongoing thing. I may have written in my previous posts about her outing herself for smoking crack. Also, was pulled over and put in jail for drugs in 2019. That was a fun 3-hour drive back with her. Anywho, sister feels brother needs to step up and care for her. Mother-in-law was apparently found unresponsive by a neighbor in her apartment complex. The neighbor then called her boyfriend. It took him 15 minutes to get there, and he then called the ambulance. Weird. Then we're told she has to be shocked, maybe Narcan, multiple times to wake up. Sister has had it. Says the hospital is saying it was an OD. Mother-in-law apparently is refusing to admit that, and the boyfriend is taking her to a neurologist. The sister is overwhelmed, and I understand that. She has a job and stepkids and lives nearly an hour away from mother-in-law. She says she's having to go over there multiple times a week to drop off groceries, clean kitty litter, whatever she needs her for, laundry, etc. The boyfriend of the mother-in-law is a good guy. He's been in the picture for a few years, but the mother-in-law refuses to leave her apartment to live with him. I personally think it's because her lifestyle would be interrupted, which brings me to the exchange of messages between mother-in-law's boyfriend and the significant other. Mother-in-law's boyfriend messages my significant other stating, "Hey bud, I don't know if you heard, but your mom almost died last week." Significant other replied, "Yeah, I did. Heard it was another OD." I don't recall the first one. Mother-in-law's boyfriend then states, "No, it wasn't an OD. I know for a fact it wasn't. That's just what the hospital said. But I'm taking her to see her neurologist." How would he know this if the neighbor had to call him? And why would she call him first and not the ambulance? Significant other ignores this and just says, "I love my mom and I miss her. Call me weak, but I can't handle this from her right now. She just needs to get right for her grandkids. She needs to move in with you so you can keep an eye on her." Mother-in-law's boyfriend never replied back. As some of you know, the first Christmas she wasn't in our lives, she had an attempt to take her life. That may be the first OD they were referring to. I'm unsure. The entire situation is just heart-wrenching. What happens, God forbid, if mom does pass? What guilt will he live with? knowing he helped cause her pain by not seeing her? My mom suggested he just see her and talk with her, but he again insists it's better this way, that he knows how she is. He sees it now, and until she admits she has a problem and gets clean and gets help, it's pointless. I can't argue with that. We've weighed these options even prior to this OD. It also makes me feel bad that his sister has all the pressure on her to take care of her mother. Time for some reactions. Just an old baby boomer thinks, from my perspective, the mother-in-law is an actively participating alcoholic and/or addict. Have you considered support groups like Alcoholics Anonymous, Children of Drug Addicts, Narcotics Anonymous, etc.? One of the things I learned as an adult child of an alcoholic are there are 3 C's. You did not cause this, you cannot control this, and you cannot cure this. Until the mother-in-law takes that first step and admits that she is powerless over her addictions and that her life is unmanageable, y'all cannot fix this for her. She has to want to help herself. Carry to Love Forever 2 thinks, people tend to not change unless they have to. We teach people how to treat us. If your significant other gives in, she'll know that the way to get his attention is to OD. He's doing the right thing. If she'd just do something healthy that he could reward her for, she might get on the path to a positive relationship with her son. Miss Dean 1911 says, do you really think your marriage will survive if DH lets her back in? Latte 1963 says, as you and your significant other have done, you need to tell your sister-in-law to 1. Drop the rope and stop enabling your mother-in-law, and 2. Stop calling you about helping your mother-in-law. Tell her that you're happy to talk about anything else, but mother-in-law is off the table. Have sister-in-law's calls sent to voicemail if it will help your significant other deal with her. And lastly, Never Enough Purple says, it's not your problem. It's not your significant other's problem. It's not your significant other's sister's problem. It's not even mother-in-law's boyfriend's problem. It's mother-in-law's problem. Not a single one of you should be expected to take care of her, or in a word, enable her. Your boyfriend is the only one making the right choice. Moving on. Won't answer the phone when she has our kids alone. Am I overreacting? Hubby asked mother-in-law to come over today and babysit our kids while he took me out. It's pretty cool outside today, so I mentioned to her that it probably wasn't a good idea to take the baby on a stroller ride. I should have known that if you don't explicitly tell her not to do something, she will do exactly the unsaid thing. I assumed that she would not take them anywhere because she's never traveled with all 3 kids since the baby has been born. She wasn't familiar with the baby's car seat and how to strap it in. The baby is 9 months old and our older kids are 9 years old and 7 years old. But because I didn't explicitly tell her not to take them anywhere, that's exactly what she did. We were gone for a few hours and are now back at home. They aren't here. She has sent us videos of them at a restaurant and downtown at some buildings. As I mentioned, it's cool outside, cold enough for her to have on a sweatshirt, and I see pictures of my 7-year-old in a muscle shirt and shorts, and my 9-year-old in a short-sleeved shirt. She didn't take the diaper bag for the baby or anything, and I'm sure she's been telling the 9 and 7-year-old to properly buckle the baby in. And now she isn't answering our phone calls or our FaceTimes. We've both called and FaceTimes numerous times, and she hasn't picked up. But she sent pictures though. I can guarantee you it will be some elaborate lie as to why she couldn't answer when she returns. Hubby will probably believe her. Mind you, we've been telling her for years that we don't mind if she takes the kids somewhere. Let me know before and I can make sure they're dressed appropriately and the baby has a bag packed. But of course, she acts like she wasn't going anywhere, and as soon as we left home, she took them out. I'm seething inside right now. The first reaction comes from Sativa Serenity. Read her the riot act. Tell her that she's on thin ice and that this is her last strike. And if anything like this happens again, she loses babysitting privileges. If she argues, ask if she wants to lose her visitation privileges too. Your children's safety is number 1, which includes you knowing where they are at all times, that they're properly dressed for the weather, and that the baby is clean and not sitting in their own waste all day. And babies have died from being improperly buckled into their car seat. So ensuring that the car seat is properly installed in her vehicle is of the utmost importance if she's taking the children out. This is a hill you should absolutely be prepared and willing to die on. If hubby interjects, disagrees with you, and supports his mother, read him the riot act as well. He's supposed to be your partner, and he should definitely be more worried about supporting you and protecting his children than sparing his mommy's precious feelings. Don't let either of them gaslight you into believing that this is a non-issue, because it's a major issue. Good luck. Next thought from Pablo Sainted. Not overreacting at all. She is not respecting your boundaries. Sounds like it's time for a very clear discussion about rules and whether she listens or not. Her babysitting privileges should be revoked. Next up, Black Cat 2. OP, you need to get angry here, with your mother-in-law and hubby and the 2 older kids. The kids are young, but not too small to pick up a phone and call you to inform that the grandma is taking them out. You can instruct the kids to wear an appreciated sweater or jacket and carry the baby bag. Angry with your husband for not talking to his mom about her stupid behavior and that it will have time out and other consequences. Angry with mother-in-law for all the wrong things she's doing and to respect you as a mother. Try once more to call her, and if she or the kids don't pick up the call the police. Once you have the kids back, give the husband and the mother-in-law an ultimatum, and every argument she has against your parenting and concerns increases 1 more month's delay in visits, till she gets the idea and learns to respect you.